and get going. All right, welcome. Thank you all for jumping on here. I like to do this in the middle, kind of towards the middle of the semester, especially right when we're going into our presentation. And for the most part, most of the time from now on will be project based. And so I like to have this because there's a couple of different things we change up, and also gives you an opportunity to ask questions if you have any. And like I was just saying earlier, if you have any questions, please don't be shy about asking them just because you are representing all the other people. And if you have a question, I will bet you somebody else has a question. So just, make sure you can either type it in the chat or you can raise your hand or whatever, and I'll get to it as soon as possible. But anyways, so just hope the semester is going well for everybody so far. I know this is a class that can sometimes get put on the back burner just because it is an online one credit course. I get that. Just really, really, try to keep us going, try to keep going and keeping things on time as much as possible. Some people are missing a lot of points just because of being late or just not turning stuff in. This is also a great time to remind you this time of the semester. I would go in and look at your stuff, make sure if you did lose points that you could fix it, or if we messed up. But remember, I said there's about 170 students in this class. So there is a chance, probably a better than average chance that while we're going through grading so many different assignments that we make a mistake or something. I've already, and I appreciate when you let me know. Don't think you're gonna make me mad. It's actually better when you do let me know. So if you see something online, even within the modules, if it's messed up or sometimes a link is broken, just make sure that you reach out to me so I can fix it as soon as possible. But what I'm going to do is kind of go over our presentations, talk about that a little bit this week, because I want this kind of to set up how we're going to do the rest of the class and kind of what I'm asking from you to do with the projects, and then how we'll be doing some of the assessments on there and peer reviews. So first of all, presentations. This week, we're going to be working on building a presentation. And I've gotten some questions on this already. And how I want you to do the rest of the classes, from my standpoint, is what I'd like you to do is take whatever you teach. So if you're an elementary teacher, you're a history teacher, you're a journalism teacher, you're anything, physical education, music, whatever you are, in whatever grade level you plan on teaching, I want you to tailor the rest of these projects towards that. So for me, example, I was an elementary PE teacher. So if that would have been what my thought process would be, all my stuff I would be doing would be as if I was going to teach a class in elementary physical education. And there's lots of ways we can use technology. Same thing here with history and music, if you're teaching social studies or music. Now, I said this in our previous meeting, this is kind of where people like to come in and go, well, I don't use technology in my class. I don't, as a music teacher, we just do. Well, we always use technology. In anything we do, we're using technology, whether we want to admit it or not. So please don't bring that excuse to me. Now, I am happy, though, if you were to say, like, look, I'm really struggling on what to do with this. I don't understand how I can use technology in this situation. Please reach out. I'm happy to jump on an individual Zoom with you and have that conversation. So when we think of presentations, first of all, I want you to kind of, when you're doing this, think back to the presentations you had as a student that teachers did for you. And what did you like? What did you not like? And when we used to do this class, some of this, I have an option to be in person on this class. We used to go up and write things on the board. Like, what did you like about presentations and what didn't you like? And typically the answers were, what you liked about it is if they had graphics, if they had pictures, if they had different formatting or colors. It was brief. What we don't, and I think what we could probably all agree that we don't like, is somebody to do a presentation where they put a bunch of words on a PowerPoint and then for their class, they read that PowerPoint. And that is something that happens every day, in a lot of classrooms to students. And so I have actually in my own classes really tried to go away from PowerPoints or some of these presentation things, because I've noticed as a teacher what happens if I put that information up there, I tend to get like locked into it. And I tend to, whether I want to or not, I tend to read it. So really as a teaching point, you really need to keep these, do a presentation in a way that is there to assist you and is there to make the lesson better. Again, having bullet points, having presentation, or sorry, having photographs, having graphics like something or some kind of graph to describe something. So really staying away from boring. That's all I'm going to say on that. Stay away from boring and think when you do a presentation, when you make it, is this something you would be happy to go through? Like if your teacher was using it and somebody was doing it to you, would you be happy to have that? So that's one. Keep these exciting, keep them going. Oh, somebody, there we go. You know, next thing on this, and we'll come back to this a little bit, is I want you to do something you haven't done previously. So, for example, we're not going to let you do PowerPoint. And the reason is we've all done PowerPoint. We did PowerPoints in elementary school. You built PowerPoints. You don't need to take a class on to do a PowerPoint when you already know how to do a PowerPoint. So I would really, now I don't know what all you've used, so I can't make you, but I would challenge you to find something different. If you're really good on Canva and you've made a lot of Canva presentations, don't do Canva. Maybe you've never used Canva and you want to try it out. Maybe you've never used Keynote, or maybe you've never used Google Slides, which is just like PowerPoint, but it might just be a little different. Challenge yourself to do something different and learn. Okay, I understand you want to get it done. Believe me, I understand that. But I would rather have you I would rather be a quality over kind of quantity deal here. I would rather have you do something not so great. And I kind of mixed it up with, I say quality over quantity. What I mean is I'd rather have you do something not so great for you to learn something. So let's say you take on Canva. You've never used Canva before. You don't know all the ins and outs of Canva. So it kind of comes across as a little basic, but you get to do it. I would rather you do that than do me some blow away PowerPoint and submit something that you've already done in the past. It doesn't do you any good to do that. Now, and again, please do not submit a presentation that you've already done. Like, oh, this is a presentation I did last year when I was subbing, or this is a presentation I used for a class earlier this week. Now, I will say if you're currently teaching a class, if you are currently in a class and you want to build a presentation for that class for this, 100% okay. Okay, so we want them to be somewhat exciting, and we're going to talk about what that means in a second. Engaging, let's just say that, engaging and enhancing the lesson. 2 is something new. 3 is I want it to have meaning and be educational. So here's what I'm going to say. We talked about this earlier in our first meeting, but be intentional. I do not need a presentation on how to tie a shoe. I don't need a presentation on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I don't need presentations on how to do that. I've had people give me presentations on how to make coffee. If that's what I'm going to get, I'm going to send it right back to you and have you do it over. I want you to start to create a packet of things that you can keep. So if you are doing, again, elementary math, make a presentation over elementary math. Pick a grade, pick a topic, pick a subject. You guys are getting into this. I know in core teaching, many of you are in core teaching right now. And so you are working on coming up with lessons. You're starting to build those, thinking of objectives and everything. It has to be something of substance. I do not want a bunch of fluff, and I will just send it right back to you if that is. And it's something we've kind of battled in the past, and I've just kind of remember when I talked about it should be intentional and it should enhance the lesson. So I, for some reason or another, started getting a lot of presentations on how to tie shoes. Now, I don't see how that would enhance a lesson that you could teach in your class. So make sure that it's something that, will make your lesson better. So now we want it to be somewhat engaging. We want it to be something new. And we want it to be something that is intentional and real and with depth in it of what you're going to do. It does not have to be a ton of information. Okay? It doesn't have to be, I don't need you to teach me about the entire World War II in this PowerPoint or in this presentation. We just say PowerPoint, we think presentation. Okay. So at this point, does anybody have any questions over presentation? Now, what I want you to do is take what I just said about all of those things, and I want you to keep that going through the rest of the semester on your projects. So when we do something with a digital assessment, you'll do the same thing, something intentional, something engaging, something new. Then we're going to get into doing an AI assignment, something intentional, something engaging, something new. Same thing when we do a video. It should be about something that you are going to teach. If you are a PE teacher, do not say, well, it's just going to be easy for me to do something on math. I've had some of my, because I will throw that back at you. If you're a music teacher, do something on music. If you're not a PE teacher, I don't want you to, good question, Kristen, I'll answer that in a second. If you're not a PE teacher, I don't want to see you do a thing on a presentation on golf. Okay, do it for your content area. So the question Kristen asked is there a length preference? So what I've said in the assignment is a minimum of about 6 slides. Now, not everything you do is going to have slides, right? Like unless you're going to do a Google Doc, you can do a Canva, certain things. Not everything's going to be a slide, but about that much. It should have some substance to it. So it should be, depending on what you do, like it should be long enough to fill about 6 slides if you were to make slides. There's some things we do are like infographics that would just have one big thing on it, and that's okay too. It would just be one paper. But yes, that makes sense. Like for example, a Prezi, you would have at least like 5 or 6, like or 6 or 7 or 8 blurbs out there. You can have as much as you want. Think about that. I would tell you like no paragraphs. I would not do paragraphs. I would do bullets. I would do numbering. Paragraphs, if you're gonna do a paragraph, give it to the kids, right? Let them read the book. Hand them. So a lot of times, if I were to use PowerPoints, like some of the books we use have like pre-made PowerPoints in them for us, and like a lot of times, what I do is I give those PowerPoints to the students. That way, they have all of that, and if they wanted to, they could take notes along with it. All right, Eduardo, excellent question. Are we limited to the options listed? Absolutely not. I love this part of it. What I love is finding new things. There's oftentimes you guys will do something that I haven't heard of. There are new new apps popping up all the time. Okay, voiceover. You could do a voice. You don't have to do voices. There are some apps that you could do. You are not going to record yourself teaching this. You're just going to build the presentation. So you don't have to explain it as you go, if that makes sense. So you do not have to record your voice. Now, if you wanted to do some kind of voice, that's totally fine. If you wanted to put some kind of a recording in. But again, think about this. This is something you're going to be holding up here in class, and you're going to be teaching it to them. So if you have bullet points, just leave the bullet points, right? What I don't at this point, you may use this later on, because when we do the video, we will do a video where you record yourself videoing of teaching a topic. Then you would talk about it. But right now, I just want the presentation you would build to assist you in teaching a topic to your students. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. For again, question, with the presentation, can we voice over and discuss the slide? You don't need to. Okay, I'm going to take some assumption liberties as a teacher, and I'll be able to look at this and say, okay, I understand where you're going. That's what it is. Those are all excellent questions. And one of the reasons, and Eduardo asked a great question, is I don't limit this to anything, because I don't claim that I know everything, and I certainly don't claim that I know what is best for you. And we'll talk about that in the assignment here in a second. Okay, so if there's no questions on that, what I'm going to do is share my screen. And again, continue. You can still ask questions. And you should see our module. Can everybody see that? Yep. Okay. Week 7. How scary is that? That we are into week 7. So let's, first of all, here's your resources. And again, I've given you more resources than you need. You certainly don't have to use these resources. You can find your own. They're there for your personal use. There's enough in here for you to do the assignment if you looked at nothing else. But again, I would encourage you, if you wanted to go look for something different, absolutely. Okay. And some of these may even get a little bit, start to get a little bit outdated. Okay. Julie, I'm going to answer your question in a second. So let's go into our assignment here. And it kind of gets our objectives. We're going to create a presentation tool. We're going to evaluate some presentation tools. We're going to create a presentation. And then you're going to actually assess technology presentations. So you're going to start off by exploring 3 of them. We did this with curation. But you don't have to do the evaluation. So I want you to go and look at 3 different presentation tools, whatever they may be. And then I want you to pick one that is the best for you personally, that is best for what you are teaching. So some things lead better than others for what you're teaching in that subject. Some may be more complicated, maybe that you would use at a high school. Some may be less. In this class, we have everybody K-12 in all different subject areas. Okay. Example 3 does not work. Okay, I'll get that. That's interesting. So I actually went through all that. So after you pick the 3, after you look at the 3 and evaluate, or just, evaluate in your own head, you're going to pick one of them. And then you will build your thing off of it. It should not be a PowerPoint with just words and lists. Be creative. Make sure to have this is a big one right here. Make sure, so you're going to be able to submit this as a file or as a link. Please, please, please make sure that we can see it. So for example, if you do a Google Slides and don't make it public, nobody can see it. And if we can't see it, we can't grade it. And if you can't share it, then your students can't see it. And so it doesn't work. So if this happens, for example, if I get this and it says that it is, I can't see it, I'm going to give you a 0 and I'll say, please resubmit it or please make it public and you'll let me know. And when you do let me know, I'll regrade it and give you full points. You won't lose any points for being late or anything like that. Again, it's a learning process. Look at this number story. There's number 3. So you just might have to be different. I'm going to go over theirs in a second. Okay, so then after you do it, so these are due Thursday, Friday at 12 o'clock. So they're due Thursday at 11:59. Friday morning at 12 a.m., you will be assigned 2 peer reviews, just 2. You will only get assigned peer reviews if your assignment is on time. If your assignment is submitted late, you will not get a peer reviews to do, and thus you will lose points for not doing peer reviews. So it's very important. So if you were to turn this in a day late, you're automatically going to lose 7 points because you're not going to get to do the peer review and you're going to be late one day. So it's really important that you turn this in on time. Now, again, if something comes up prior to, please reach out to me. Do not reach out to me at 10 or 11 o'clock on Thursday night. That won't count. Okay. So after you get your peer reviews, we have a little tutorial here on how to do it, and I'm going to show you. You must fill out both the rubric and make a comment to get peer reviews. And I'm going to explain this in a second. I'm going to take us off screen share. So you must fill out both the rubric and make a comment. Okay, your comments could be on appearance, the information to learn, the ability to engage students. Okay. Now, where's my screen here? I'm going to stop my share. Why are we doing these peer reviews? They're just more work. They're blah, blah, blah. It's not just busy work. There's a number of reasons. Number one, I want you to get more feedback than just me who's going to fill out the rubric. Okay, I'm going to fill out the rubric. I'm going to tell you what the grade. With this many students in an online class this large, it's difficult for me to go through. There's not enough time in the day for me to spend in writing meaningful. And I'm not big on giving you patronizing, looks good, well done stuff all the time. So by doing these, you're going to get feedback from other people in your class, your peers. That's one reason. Secondly, you are also, by looking at other people's, are going to see what else is out there. You're going to get to see other people's presentations. It may be something that is something you've never saw, or you might see somebody did a great one. You're like, oh, I'd like to take that and borrow that because that's really cool. So those are the main reasons that we do these. One is you get more value, you get more feedback than just us. And two, you also get to see what other people do. Okay. We're not going to have to do these for everything. And I don't have you do them to just give you busy work. I promise, because it actually makes more work because we have to grade and assign these and everything. Okay. Real quick, I just want to look here, catch up. As a secondary PE coaching major, can we do something over coaching? I would prefer, Julia, it to be within the PE realm. And it could be something of a, like you're going to coach some kind of sports skill. Obviously, you know, if you were doing something on catching and you wanted to teach them how to catch, and you had in that presentation, maybe you had a video, or in that presentation, you had a picture of somebody with their hands like this. If you wanted to help them show that, you could do something like that. And again, we can talk more about that if you have questions. But again, yeah, I mean, coaching, those things kind of blend together. So I probably wouldn't know the difference too much depending on what you did. What I don't want it to be is you having a bunch of plays and set up that way or something like that. Okay. Any questions on that? Let's go back to sharing our screen. Okay. Pop the chat up. Hold on 1 second. Why is that? Okay, so this is from Tanya. My major is elementary education. Stop. I'm sorry, if there's something covering this up, let me make this bigger. Oh, there we go. But working in a life skills classroom. So Tanya, I would encourage you to do something with elementary, but if you are teaching a life skills classroom right now and you want to create something for that life skills classroom, I'm good with that. That is okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's something real. I like that when we build something real like that. So I'm okay with that. Okay. So what needs to be submitted? Number one, you're going to put in the 3 presentation tools reviewed. Please don't hide these somewhere on your presentation. I would put them on the title of the first page of your presentation. You can also put them in your comments, in the comment box. You could put them there as well. You're going to put in your original presentation that's created by you. You can submit it through a file upload or providing the links. Just remember, please make those links public. We're going to let you know if it's not, and then we'll have to, and those dates shouldn't be on there. Those dates are actually wrong. Sorry. I don't know why that date is still on there. I thought I changed all that. It's Thursday, and then your peer reviews are due Sunday. I'll fix that here in a second. So Thursday night at 11:59, it's the 3rd, not October 5th. Go off of that. And then the peer reviews are due. Now, a question may be, what if I'm doing peer reviews and I cannot access their thing because they didn't make it public? Then that is what you're going to tell them. Okay? You're going to make a comment and you're going to fill out the rubric and give them zeros. And then you will make a comment on that. Okay? So let's take a look this is good. What you're going to look at here: list of reviews, content, design, the timeliness. This page did not upset. I'm not sure if I'm even on. I don't know why this page did not update. And peer reviews. So you're going to be graded on: did you do the tools? That's 3 points just by listing the tools. Second is your content. Third is design, and fourth is did you do the peer reviews? You do or don't do the peer reviews. Now in here, there's a video on how to make peer reviews or how to do peer reviews. Okay. What I'm not big on is watching videos, but I want to show you something. So after the peer reviews are assigned, this is what your submission looks like after you've submitted it. Over here on Friday morning, you'll see this thing that says who you are assigned, and you'll have 2 of them. Okay. You'll click on that. After you click on that person's name, their submission will come up right here. Okay, you'll either download it or go to the link. This is where you'll make the comment. Up here in the right-hand corner, it says show rubric. See if I get to that point. So they click that, and then here they show the rubric. You see the rubric? And you are going to grade them. You on the peer reviews, just give them full points. So you'll go down and grade, you click. If you think it was a, whatever you think, look through the rubric and see. So for example, if I were to look at the rubric, you look through this. If they have them, give them a 3. If they don't have them, give them a 0. Then you're going to look at this and go, okay, information on the slides reflects the understanding. Okay, it's pretty good. It's really good. Over here, it's presented, but not clear and informative. So maybe I give them a 3. Or the slides are really, they kind of display the stuff we talked about, being engaging with colors and pictures, or it's very basic and give them here. So again, if you have any questions, you just on how to do a peer review right here, but a reminder, I say this again, and I know I've said it now like 7 times, but this is going to be the number 1 get you thing. You must fill out both the rubric and make a comment. If you don't do both, you're going to get a 0. Now, like everything, I think, in this class, is you can go back and fix it. So we will make a comment. You didn't do your peer reviews, you can go back and fix them. Or, hey, you didn't do the rubrics, go back and fix it. And then let us know and we'll regrade it. Some examples here. This is on teaching pickleball. And you can see how again, slides kind of go across, have the different steps, okay? That's one example. This is a Prezi. Give me all this stuff. Again, you can see all this. Anyways, there it is. A Prezi example, that probably is not even. And then here is an infographic. See if it pops up. Yep. So you did an infographic on a book. So that's another example. I am not saying that these are perfect. I'm saying these are a representation of things that have been done, that have been, that have gotten full points. Okay. Now, if we were to look through our modules and kind of look what's coming in the future, let's go down here to week 8. We'll be doing a thing on digital assessment. We'll actually build a digital assessment tool. We have an AI education exploration. And then down here, you'll see we'll start putting this video out, and that's not due till right at the very end of the semester. We'll give you, there's going to be a chance for some extra credit down here, a little further down. We'll talk about that. But what you will notice, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. What you will notice is that our projects, while they get a little bigger, I start giving a little more time to do this. Okay. So any questions over anything I've talked about tonight, over the project, over the presentation, over peer reviews, any of that, over anything that has been happening in this semester so far? Okay. Well, I'm not going to keep any longer. What I will do is I will stay online in case somebody wants to have a conversation without everybody being on here. But if you have any questions, I don't know how I can say this any more than I already have, but I want you to really understand if you are struggling in any way in this course, please reach out to me. If you reach out to me, I promise I will find a way for this to work for you. If you don't reach out to me, I can only do what is in front of me on this computer. I don't have you in class. Like I don't see you face to face. I can't grab you. Okay. What I can do is I can let you know, I can send out that, hey, you're missing the assignment or do these kind of things. But if you are struggling in any way, something's happened in your life or something's changed, all you got to do is reach out. I've already done it with a few people. Okay. It's easy to fix, but you have to reach out to me. Okay. The comment is, well, I just have a hard time asking for help. It's going to sink you. As a teacher, you have to be able and willing to ask for help. Okay. You're going to need it a lot. It's not going to be easy. You're going to need help. And I promise you, I'll be understanding and help you out. Okay. So that's my last little pitch. If you have any questions, please reach out and we will chat soon. All right. You all have a fabulous night. Thank you so much for joining me and not making me sit here by myself and talk to the wall. Have a great one.